Member for Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Deputy.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you stand. So.
That's okay. No, that's all right. I seek leave to make a short opening statement.
Is leave granted?
Leave is granted.
Thank you. The member for Fisher has the call.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I begin by thanking the Chair, the member for Newcastle, for stepping into the Chair for the committee, and the member for Jaga for her work that she did before her elevation. This was a comprehensive inquiry with 220 submissions, 10 public hearings, 1 in-camera hearing, 58 responses to questions on notice and 3 reports. The coalition members of the committee welcome the recommendations made by the committee, including a statutory duty of care and a children's online privacy code. Having said that, I feel that it would be remiss of me if I didn't point out that I think if the report was left as is, it would be seen as a missed opportunity. Coalition members felt compelled to provide not a dissenting report but additional comments. And there were some 16,000 words in those additional commentary, which we believe fills a gap in this report. Simply put, coalition members believe that government members of the committee have missed the opportunity to demonstrate the strong leadership required for the kind of comprehensive reform which social media platforms desperately need. Madam Deputy Speaker, in 2018, on the 3rd of January 2018, Dolly Everett took her life as a result of very, very significant bullying. Most of us would remember that day. And I have to say it was a day in my life that I remember well. Shortly after Dolly's passing, I went down to New South Wales, down to Sydney, and had a meeting with the Digi Group, where all of the social media platforms and big tech are represented. And I made them a promise, the executives of the Digi Group, that I would be a thorn in their side for however long they continued to not look after the welfare of Australians, and in particular the welfare of Australian children. I made them that promise, and today I feel somewhat vindicated that that promise has been or is being delivered. Big tech companies have proven utterly incapable of protecting their users from harm, and Australians demand strong leadership to hold them to account. I remember walking out of that meeting with the Digi Group thinking that I had just met with big tobacco from the 1970s and the 1960s. I was assured that everything was all under control, that that platforms were doing everything that they humanly possibly could to protect Australians. Well, we all know that that is not true. Coalition members were concerned that despite the significant evidence provided by witnesses, the committee has failed to give enough attention to the issues of child safety, foreign interference and mental health, particularly in relation to eating disorders and addiction. A parliamentary inquiry such as this one should freely offer recommendations to government to steer policy and find practical solutions to real-world policy problems with far-reaching consequences. Coalition members want user control features which address persuasive design issues. That includes resetting your algorithm, stopping autoplay and infinite scrolling, and the ability to better customise one's social media feeds. Coalition members would like to see greater transparency and reporting requirements in relation to actual or suspected foreign interference or transnational commercial activities. Coalition members would like to see a Centre of Digital Education Excellence established to bolster Australia's digital technology and media literacy. Coalition members want a proactive obligation on social media companies to report actual or suspected child sexual abuse and exploitation, regardless of whether end-to-end encryption is used. Coalition members want a proactive obligation on search engines and similar platforms to report how they are combating the indexation and dissemination of harmful material. Coalition members want big tech to be held accountable for harmful materials published by connected third-party platforms, including LinkedIn BioTools. Coalition members want the government to work with experts, youth representatives and lived experience participants to develop a strategy to improve the online safety and well-being of boys who are disproportionately affected by online harms, particularly in relation to sextortion. Coalition members want the government to invest in the research and development of technology to combat child sexual exploitation. Coalition members want social media companies to provide regular transparency reports on data collection. Coalition members want regular reports on revenue received from the advertising of regulated and restricted industries like alcohol, gambling, pornography, cigarettes, pharmaceuticals, weight loss treatments, debt collection and more. Coalition members want the government to adequately resource the E-Safety Commissioner and the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation to meet increasing demand on their services. And like other committees before this one, Coalition members want a new parliamentary committee on online safety, artificial intelligence and technology, tasked with responding to and preparing Australia for the growing threats and opportunities in social media, technology and AI. Mr Deputy Speaker, it is imperative that a standing committee be established because just as this committee is handing down its report today, it's likely to be out of date in a couple of months' time. And having a standing committee which can keep abreast with the constant changes in this area will stand this country in good stead. The sort of jurisdiction that this standing committee should have would include also dating apps, gaming platforms, live streaming programs, the metaverse and more. Mr Deputy Speaker, the Coalition members have put together an alternative report to highlight the serious issues which the existing report fails to address. We've nominated 13 additional recommendations to protect Australians online. We've demonstrated once again that the Coalition is leading the charge on social media reform and online safety. I want to acknowledge the efforts and the receptiveness of the Leader of the Opposition and the Shadow Minister for Communications, David Coleman, for their great work on, in leading social media reform. At this point, I also want to thank my partner in crime, the member for Flinders, for her outstanding work on this committee and in relation to online safety. The reality is, Mr Deputy Speaker, that only the Coalition can be trusted to keep kids safe online. Only the Coalition has the courage to hold big tech to account, and I recommend the report and additional comments to the House.
I thank the member for Fisher.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.